Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel Curiosity Box, and this video is week 2 in the hashtag Take the Mask Off Autism Educational event. So just as a reminder, here's what the details of this event are and what's coming up in the next few weeks. I will leave a link to the first video that I did in the description box. So this week we're talking about stimming and how it relates to masking. What stimming means to me is my feelings just cannot be contained in this big swirly mushy thing inside my skull. They have to come out through my body, and that comes out in a variety of movements. So in this video there's going to be well, first of all, I have photographic evidence of one of my happy stims when I was little, and here's a photograph of me doing a very happy stim when I got one of my birthday presents. So that was my stim when I was little, and I've kept that stim into adulthood. So this video is going to have webcomic. It's going to have me demonstrating my stims. So first of all, I'm going to do happy stims. So here's my category of happy and thinking of creative ideas stims. So this hand stem is a stem about when I have an idea, because of my visual mind, I tend to have my art ideas coming up in my head and they're fully finished like in a gallery, and then I'll get different ideas. A lot of the time I get ideas when I'm having a shower or having wash, and this is the stem that comes out when I start having an idea about my art. And it's a quick hand flip where that finger is hitting my thumb. So that I tend to have it at my hip when I first start thinking of a creative idea. And then the next level of hand stem is this, still with a bit of the clicky and with my overhand going. And then the next level of that is, and that's when I'm really excited. And I have a sort of side level of this is what I looked like when I was in the queue to meet and have my photo taken with Benedict Cumberbatch. I was like, because he had 2 security guards and I was trying not to look too suspicious so they wouldn't tackle me and try and push me to the floor. So it was like like in the queue of that, which you can totally tell that I was stimming a lot before I got to the photo. So here's the photo of me with Benedict Cumberbatch. So that was my stem then. So those are my hand stems. Now, how this relates to masking is, well, my dad's always supported my hand stems and he's always flapped with me. And my mum, she's not been particularly comfortable with my hand stems. I've often heard, keep your hands still. What are you doing? Keep your hands still. But my dad's always flapped with me. But my dad has often made the joke that, yeah, I have creases on your wrist. Well, my dad's often made the joke that my hands will fall off, and the creases are where my hands can fall off because of stuff, because I flap so much. So these are my main hand flaps. Now, let me adjust the camera and I'll show you another stem that I came up with like relatively recently. Now, this stem I did a comic about, so here's a comic. And this stem I call the jelly butt stem. And it's basically the feeling of my bum when I wiggle it. But you have to wiggle your bum really hard. See, this is what the jelly butt stem is. It's like, and I just like feeling the fat on my arse wobble. See, that's that one. And now, see, where I have a lot of just running down the hall in different ways when I'm happy. So those are my main happy stems. Now I'm going to show you the sort of reverse of that, and I'll show you my anxiety and angry stems. So yay, hope you're enjoying this. So now I'll be demonstrating the stems I do when I'm anxious and waiting for adulting stuff, that and when it scares me. So this is a stem when I'm waiting for appointment type things. So that's what I do when I'm really scared at an appointment. So the next bit is going to be when I get angry and have sort of veering towards meltdown stems. So these are my sort of angry emotion stems. So with these angry emotion stems, it tends to be on the floor, and when I disagree with something or I get angry, I tend to come sort of go like that and sort of ow, that hurt. Like push my head against stuff. I used to have a head banging stem, but it really hurt and it wasn't safe. and I tried to stop it, but it was really, really hard to stop. But I try to not do it, but sometimes I get so angry it just slips out and I end up hitting my head really hard. But it's like my body tenses up and the muscles get all tense. And it's like, like that, or I get really angry. And sometimes I get angry stems when my technology's not working. And it's like, oh, there'd be a lot of swearing. So I do a lot of swearing when I'm angry. But I've learned that when I get angry I have sort of learned how to sort of leave the room like firmly but calmly, and then I get angry in my flat, and there's usually a lot of swears, and there's that's more related to meltdowns, and there would be a lot of punching of teddies, and then curling up on the bed. I suppose it would be like a tortoise, like hiding from predators, like the anger stem sort of meant to make you hide from predators and danger, I guess, and also to try and stop me being destructive, because I used to be quite destructive, and I'd have like things from school I'd made, and they used to get destroyed. So, but I grew, well, I sort of learned to not be as destructive and not to destroy stuff as much. So, relating to destructive stuff, another stem I like digging. So this little comic about digging that I did. Another stem I do, yes, this is a bit later because this is an insert because I forgot a bit, but it was tea time. But another stem I do, which I wanted to include in this video because it's really important, is rocking. Now, you've probably noticed when I'm reading stuff out of books and stuff in my other videos that I gently start rocking. Well, where I also rock when I'm angry, but it's like with my knees up and that. It's really angry rocking. And then I also rock when I'm eating, and when I'm eating my dinner, sometimes I have to move about. This is about when waiting in restaurants. I sort of have to rock back and forth and move my body about because I get really impatient about stuff. See, that's what I also wanted to say. So when I get sad, my stims, I don't stim. When I'm like sad, I just get really quiet and usually like this, and that's when I go like sort of internal. My usual indication of when I'm sad is when I'm like really quiet and not moving much and sort of looking down, and then when I go and snuggle up next to my mum, I go to my dad for a hug. And so that's what happens when I get sad. I have a particular set of stims for when I'm waiting for food. I find waiting for food extremely difficult, especially at restaurants. You get there and then you have to wait for them to turn up to take your order, then you have to wait for your order, and then you eat your dinner, and that's all fine. And then you have to wait till everybody else is finished, but that's usually fine because I'm usually the last one to finish my dinner anyway. But then you have to wait for pudding, and you have to wait for everybody to stop chatting so you can go home. So at the pub and restaurants, and sometimes at wedding dinners, I use these were my stims because I found alternatives which I'll show you after this. So pretend this is a beer mat. So what I do, I just peel. I love peeling things and scraping things. I just find it so satisfying. So what I do is start peeling up the corner of the beer mat. And I like, when things are in layers, I like separating the layers, because I sort of, well, when I eat chocolate, when it's a Twix, I used to deconstruct. I love deconstructing things, and I used to deconstruct a Twix like a bit by bit, and I'd deconstruct a wagon wheel when I used to eat wagon wheels, and I'd used to bite the top off the Twix, then nibble around the side, and then you just have the biscuit, and then you have that bit. So, but at pubs, I'd get the beer mats and start separating the layers, and then I'd also fold a lot. And then I'd start tearing, and there'd just be loads of torn bits of paper. And at weddings, if there's sequins of confetti on the table, I have to arrange it like a sort of like create pictures with the sequins and confetti, because I just have to play with it. And now my main thing was peeling the labels off bottles. So it's just like this, probably why I like watching the Dr. Pimple Popper and the videos of people squeezing blackheads and all that stuff. Especially, I recently found ear blackheads with tweezers. That's amazing. Oh, you should watch them videos, they're amazing. But I used to peel the labels off the bottles, and that's what I do. Just at the pub, I'd peel. Now, alternatives for pub stims. So these are my alternatives. I have a stash of things in my handbag. So there's the usual stem toys. So this is a tangle teaser. This one of the like fancy ones where it's got little gems on, and you can pull it out like this, and then when it's not broken, I told you I break things all the time. So this one is a bit broken, but you put this end usually connects, and then you can wear it as a bracelet if you've got a fancy one. You can wear any of them as bracelets. So that's your tangle teaser that you can take, and that's a bit better than destructing everything at the pub. They also have twist and lock blocks. These are awesome. I love these. These are awesome. Really cool. I also have a fidget cube. I like this side of the switch, so I have that. Another good thing is like just a little thing to read. It could be like a Doctor Who novel or one of these book samplers. But my favourite thing is mini Transformers. Now these are the mini Transformers I buy. So this size packaging, and they're the ones with 6 steps to transform. Because if it's like 1 step to transform, there isn't enough of a challenge to keep me entertained. So it's just these little ones, and you can get all the different characters, and these are brilliant because I started putting them in my handbags, but I was a bit shy to start using them at first in a restaurant. But then when I did start using them, I got them out, and then Mum was like, well, let me have a play, and then Dad wanted to play, my auntie wanted to play, and they're just really loads of fun. And then my dad was like, how do you do this bit? How do you do this bit? And by the time, and then when you figured out how to transform them all, your dinner's arrived. So I totally, very highly recommend mini Transformers. They are amazing. So those are my toy alternatives for going out for a meal. How all this relates to masking? Well, I had stims at school, but they were sort of, I didn't realise that's what they were. So I guess at primary school we had those wooden lift up desks, and those were amazing because you had your own little area that was yours, and like nobody could see. So I think I scratched on them desks a bit. It's a bit difficult to understand whether I had stims at primary school, but I did do a comic about high school. No, I didn't flap my hands at school at all, because it just would look different and would have been bullied. So I leant back on my chair a lot. So I just like rock back on my chair. So that was my main stem. And then I also have pencil tins and new folders, and I'd be like, in my head I'd think, right, I'm not going to mess up this pencil tin, we're not going to make it rubbish, we're not going to mess it up, we're not going to spoil it. And I'd end up constantly be doodling and scratching onto my pencil tin, and then there'd be stickers in my pencil tin, and then eventually they'd get scratched on with the compass, so it'd be mostly defacing my pencil tin. But I guess a lot of my stims, because I couldn't do my stims at school, I did sort of daydream and sort like go off in my mind a lot. Like in sport, in rounders, I used to go as far away from the action as possible, and then just drift off and daydream and dissociate and hope the ball didn't get to me. So that's what I used to do at most of the sport at school, was that keep as far away from the action as possible and just like in sort of in my head just chat to myself and just have little like stories in my head. So it's more like dissociating from what was going on. But well, when I used to get home from primary school and the early years of high school, I had an Amiga and I had Golden Axe, and I used to go straight on my Amiga and just Golden Axe, just so I guess that was all my frustration and anger coming out, and all my suppressed sort of movement and stimming coming out when I played Golden Axe. And that was an amazing game. And I swear I finished the game because I completed the map. So I don't know if I did complete the game, but the map was completed. But I didn't know what I was doing, just bashing at it till it was tea time. So I guess that was because I was masking my stims, and I think that I didn't really stim at college because well, I didn't do my flappy stims, but I did the rocking back on the chair and doodling again. And then in the friendship group, we did play cards a lot, so I guess that was like okay. And then when I used to go shopping, I used to like talk quietly to myself, and I'd start to want to waggle my hands because there'd be really cool stuff in the shops. But I get told that keep your hands still, people are looking, keep your hands still. But nowadays I start to do, I'm more free with doing since we got my diagnosis, and since we've been going to art ski, we've been learning more about stems, and I felt I was more able to do my stems in public, but mum still gets embarrassed because but I do tend to get excited in the supermarket and flap a lot and make sort of quietly make my noises because I find grocery food shopping so difficult because here's a comic I did about food shopping. And the comic describes how visually overloading the food shopping is, so I often like to just go off and go and look at the books and then look at the toys and the stationery. They're my favourite bits because the food is just like there's all these different logos and it's just food. It's not like toys or magazines where it's like different things. It's just different types of the same food. It's like I can't do food shopping. I get claustrophobic in Aldi because and then but I do stim a bit more. I stim more when I'm with my dad because it's just because he don't give a what's it if I stim in a shop. They don't really care. So I stim more with dad. I also have a lot of, I haven't really talked about it in this video, but I have a lot of echolalia. Now echolalia is repeating things. Now people some people on Twitter have said that echolalia doesn't mean anything, and it does mean a lot. I have made a comic about what my echolalia is and why it comes out, and why sometimes when I'm talking to people, mostly when I'm talking to sort of romantic partners, why I tend to come out with just completely different things. And it's all about how my brain processes image and well, mostly how it processes images. It's like Google image search, and you like have like an image, and then you get related images, and then you get related images to that, and then you have comparisons of images, and it's constantly in my head all the time, this image stuff. So yeah, and that's what the comic is about. So yeah, I do with echolalia, I sing a lot. I like singing. The most repetitive songs that I do sing are Disney songs and Grease, and yeah, mainly Disney and Grease. And I used to be a bit shy about singing, but like even in front of my mum and dad, I've become a lot more like freer and open, so I sing a lot now. And then me and dad we have little memes. We have our own memes, and that, you know, the Tesco adverts with that lad, and it's like, are you having a party? Like me and dad will like pick up different memes off different adverts, and like, oh boy, it's ours. And then when we used to go on holiday to France, some holidays we'd have one meme, and we'd have a meme for that holiday, and a lot of it would be my brother would make it up, and one of them was, can you see me? Do you know who I am? I think it must be from like Monty Python or something. And then another one would be pretending you're walking downstairs. And then going up in the lift. That would be another meme we did. One time we went on holiday, I had this green beanie that I just loved, and it was like ban the beanie, and we had a big open fire in the French cottage, and Johnny kept threatening to throw my beanie on the fire. So that was a funny one. And okie dokie, karaoke. So we'd have memes. Yeah, the one that me and dad have had the longest is the Frasier one. You know that episode of Frasier where they're watching Antiques Roadshow, and they have they've got a drinking game going on, and they have to take a drink whenever the word veneer. And me and dad have kept that up for years. So whenever it's on an advert or something, we don't do the drinking, but we just say veneer. And we've had it for years, and me and dad are like, sort of, we think the same, so we'll have the same sort of idea about jokes and stuff. And another one is Gary Barlow here. No, that is it. Gary Barlow here. Just say go by a lot. So yeah, and that. I guess my other stem is, I was going to do it in this video, but I might do it on a separate video, because another thing is dancing. I just like dancing around the house. And I used to sort of be embarrassed to do dancing at discos and family parties. And then eventually it was my brother's wedding, and I thought, oh, it was that in my head that it's my brother's wedding, he deserves me to dance. So I got up and danced, and because he married an amazing Indian woman, we did Bhangra, and we had Bhangra lessons at the henna party. So we got off and we did Bhangra, and then there was a big conga, and it was amazing. I danced all night, and I even danced in front of his old school friends who I'd known since school. So, and that, because I wasn't even drunk. And so that was important to my brother, so I did my dancing and sort of opened up then. I've also done a lot of disco dancing at sci-fi conventions, where I sort of dance, but I like look at the wall and just dance with my back to people, and I just, at the Buffy one, I danced loads until everybody else had gone off the dance floor, and it was just amazing. So I feel more comfortable dancing at sci-fi conventions. And we had a disco in 2017 Artscape. We had an actual disco, and it was mostly just me and there dancing like till the very last song, and the DJ kicked me out. So because I love dancing. So this was my video about stimming. So I hope you have learned a lot. I hope you use the hashtag take the mask off and go and read and watch and listen to what everybody else has said about stimming. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching. Yay!